I'm wondering, let's just put that up a little bit. Welcome to this afternoon to our crafty creation. And I'm really excited about today's painting session because I'm going to use my fingers. I have been inspired by a wonderful local artist called Sam Bennett, who does these most beautiful paintings. I don't actually know how she does them. They're layers and layers of colour, and she's very skilled. And she makes these beautiful floral pictures. And it inspired me to do something similar with you guys today using our fingers. So super accessible, super easy. Is it for kids? No, I don't think it is. I think adults, have a go. Sometimes it really unlocks a whole new potential when you try something new. When you try to, let's say you've been frustrated with watercolours and you start with acrylics and you use your fingers instead of using a paintbrush. Had some amazing results from a whole load of you that did that incredible picture, that Vincent van Gogh Poppy Fields. And we did it on cardboard, and we did it using a popsicle stick, a spoon, a fork, some of our fingers, all sorts of bits and pieces, didn't we? And the results were incredible. So I'm hoping this is going to be something similar. I have never done this before, so it could be a disaster, but I don't think it will be. I think it's going to be super fun, super exciting. I'm using my homemade palette today. Do you remember I did a little art hack on this, which showed you how to cut it out and create a little palette so that you can hold it when you're working, and it's got a really nice catchy tray. It's just out of a milk carton. So that's what I'm using today. We're going to swing round and you'll see that I am using a piece of cardboard. So something super easy, something really fun, a nice piece of cardboard. And that means that most people have this in their house, so you don't have to, perhaps use a canvas or a piece of paper. The thing with a piece of paper is that I think with a piece of paper, it might just be a little bit too thin when we do lots of paint. I've got a wet flannel or a face cloth there, and I've also got an old hand towel ready to go in case I do blob a little bit. So we're going to start off, and we're just going to use our fingers and thumbs, and we're going to start to create a whole load of blue in this direction, all the way around here. Layers and layers of blue. So off we go. We're just going to, you can see I've clipped it at the top there. We're just going to layer the blue. And this is the week before, on the Saturday night Sip and Paint, I did a Georgia O'Keeffe. And Georgia O'Keeffe is an American artist who is famous for the very, very close-up, enlarged floral paintings. So her botanical art, and we did the tulip. She doesn't necessarily paint with her fingers, but that sort of brightness and intensity she definitely does achieve. It's like you've got a magnifying glass and you're poking the magnifying glass inside some sort of bloom and you're having a good old look. So the center of my flower is going to be up here. So today's art has all been about fingers and toes. We just did a really great little quick draw, and if you didn't get a chance to do it, it has been saved for you, so you will be able to pop on and have a go at that. There's a competition that's running alongside that alongside that class. So you get to design your own sneaker or trainer or high top boot. And if you share your design with 5 friends and then you share it and post it to my Instagram or my Facebook at You Create Art at Home, then you could win a pair of high tops yourself, and then you'll be able to design your own. You'll be able to translate that design into a really cool pair of unique high top boots that you can walk around. I think it's a fantastic prize. It's great fun. We're going to start having Wednesday weekly giveaways, which I'm hoping that you'll enjoy. Okay, I've done one layer of blue. Now I'm going to a darker blue. And I'm starting to mosaic the colour by painting inside the gaps. Now, I don't necessarily want all inside the gaps, so I can mix it up a little bit. So you want to try and create some tones and shades, so where those colours might overlay. So patches of dark and patches of light. You can use your thumb or you can use your finger. And what you get is new colours where the colours combine, which is all really exciting. With paintings like this, you never really know how they're going to turn out until you actually paint them. So you might have a kind of idea. So I've got an idea that the centre of my flower is going to be there. And I'm decided I'm going to do it in hot and cool colours. So this is my cool colours being blue. And my warm colour in the middle, it's not going to be yellow, but it's going to be like a cerise pink. And it's going to have a little bit of yellow just to punctuate it as an accent colour. And what does an accent colour mean? Well, it just means something bright. Okay, so I'm going to do some more dark down this corner. This is obviously where the dark area would be. It's a little bit bouncy, but I didn't want to put so many clips on that it was so rigid. I wanted it to be able to bounce a little bit so that I could tap my fingers on it. Okay, now I'm going to add purple. So that was a tealy colour, that was a bright blue. Now I'm going to use the purple, and I'm going to put the purple around the outer edge, because that's really where the dark area of the flower is. So I'm just going to build my purple in. You can see it's just a piece of cardboard box, this cardboard. It's nothing special at all. If you do have a canvas, you can have a canvas. Well, you could do it on a piece of paper, but I'm just not sure when we put lots of paint whether you need a bit of structure to it, really. I guess if you did on a piece of paper and you had the paper flat on the table, that would be okay, but I wanted to pop it up on the kids' easel today so that it was vertical. So yeah, if you had it on the table, I think paper would be fine actually. Maybe you've got some wallpaper or some stiff paper, or a cereal box would be amazing, because that's got a nice bit of structure, and you could paint on the coloured bit or you could paint on the brown bit on that one. So you can see I'm starting to get that dark tone around the outside. I'm quite liking seeing some of that brown being left actually, the cardboard box. I like the colour, it kind of gives a bit, it's a nice warm brown, not kind of like a dirty brown, so I quite like it popping through. Might leave some of that showing. Okay, I'm putting some purple up in this corner here. Then I'm going to go around the edge. So very much a kind of splatty finger technique at the moment. When we go in the middle, I'm going to start drawing with my finger, but right now I'm still just dabbing and doing kind of dots and circles. In the day of the Impressionists, this sort of painting would have been called pointillism, where it's dots. Theirs would have been much finer, but the principle is exactly the same. Okay, we're going to mix up our own colour now, so I'm going to get that purple and that aqua together, and I'm going to mix up a new tone. I'm going to add a tiny bit of that white in, and we're going to kind of create a lavender colour. Can you see that coming through? So we've got a lavender tone. And I'm going to add some of that lavender tone next to the purple area, so it creates a light area next to the dark shade, almost like there's a dark tone and a light tone. Starting to get thick with paint now. And every time I'm getting in there, I'm just mushing it up a bit more, because every time I touch the blues here, then I'm obviously putting some of the blue back on my fingers, so I'm having to just mix the colours back in when I go back to my canvas or my piece of card or my picture, whichever you want to call it. Beautiful! Get in there. This is what children should do. Just get in and have some fun. Don't be too precious. Let the kids explore. This is just a finger painting, but I think this would make an amazing Mother's Day present, personally. If you don't like pinks and purples, or you know, you want to do it in oranges and reds, I think that would look just as amazing. Instead of the purple, I would go with like a dark blood red, and then you could go with a red and an orange. So you're basically creating 3 different tones from the same colour palette. Okay, with that purple, I'm now going to start to paint inside. Mixing it in with some white, and can you see I'm going to start to run my fingers. It's like run, 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 run. So I'm starting to get a different texture by flicking my fingers. This is awesome. I don't know why I didn't do more of this sort of stuff in my degree. Well, because my degree was a bit strange. It wasn't strange, but it was contemporary art, so there was lots of experimentation. My poor husband and I lived together, and he used to think that what I was doing was crazy. We had people on top of buildings and licking up salt tracks, very peculiar activities. So this is the inside of my flower, so that's why I'm using the paler colour. And I'm just doing that big streaky line. So I'm just going to have to go up here. I reckon when you finish this, I reckon if you were to put this in a frame, no one would even know that it was painted on cardboard. They'd be like, wow, that is beautiful. You see paintings like this all the time in hotels, you know, $1,000 here, $1,000 there, and you think, give it a go. You think, I could do better than that. Well, give it a go. Sometimes it's just about experimenting and having the gumption to give it a go and have a try, and then work out that actually it's not as hard as you think. Or maybe not as hard, but artists make it look easy, I guess, because they have confidence and they've probably experimented with the materials about, well, I don't know how many times, but plenty of times before they then go down that route of creating a piece that goes in a gallery or on a wall. So I'm just getting some white down this area here and making some longer strokes so that the white goes over the colours. Liking that very much. Okay, now I want to add in some pink. So I'm going to add in some hot pink over the top. Now the first layer of hot pink, I don't want to mush too much, so I'm going to try and drop it down with my fingers without pushing into the paint too much, so that you end up really seeing the pink. Because if I slide through that purple, the pink is gonna end up purple as well. So I'm just dropping it down and just scooting my finger across the top of the surface. So Sam Bennett's work in the Gap is beautiful. She does a lot of floral work, which has really sort of close up. It's almost like you've seen it through a blurry lens, you know. You can't really tell it's flowers, but you know it is. And it has, certainly not done with, well, it might be done with her fingers, but I think it's done with a brush. But it has this overlay of patterned cut colour, which is just beautiful. And when I saw her paintings that she's just done this series for Mother's Day, it just inspired me to do something similar with you kids. which, you know, could, like I say, this could be an adult's piece as much as a child's piece. All right, I want to get to a pale pink now, so I'm going to mix in the white and the pale pink together. This is the fun bit, isn't it? Mixing up all your colours. Kids will love this. Okay, so now I've got this pale lilac-y pink, and I'm going to try and drop that over the top as well. You can see we've hardly got any board left now. So I'm just scooping it up and dropping it down to create the centre of my flower. Going to add some green in a minute. But for now we're just trying to layer up the centre of this flower. You could use poster paint. You could go onto my tutorial, the teach, that shows you how to make your own paint, because that paint with corn flour and washing up liquid and food colouring comes out really thick. The paint's really thick, so that would work really nicely with this, because you get that real kind of impasto, which means chunky paint look. So that would work really nice with this painting. Look at my fingers. All right, so that's the purple. I'm just going to wipe my fingers down to get the pink and purple off, because we're going to do a bit of green and a bit of yellow. So we're going to have some green in this blue area, that very vibrant green, and we're going to put some yellow in the centre of our flower. So I'll put my yellow up there. Okay, so here we go with the green. I'm going to try and do like some longer lines, and rather than finger drops, I'm just going to put it on and kind of draw into it a little bit. So it's a little bit longer than just a blob. We might get some patches of that colour together, some little groupings. Find some in this corner here. And then up the top. Bearing in mind the flower is obviously circular, so we need to make sure that we get the colour story going all the way around. I wonder what it looks like on screen. I'm loving it. This is the sort of painting that you'll either love or hate. I love the colour, I love the texture, I love the simplicity of being able to just paint on cardboard with your fingers, using a milk carton. I just love that. And it's usually this time of night because I'm hungry. I'm actually sat down on a chair because I am hungry. I've decided that I need to stop eating the fridge. In this COVID-19 fridge raiding mentality, we've all decided that we need to put the brakes on. So I'm hungry, I need my dinner. And the worst thing is, yesterday when I was over here doing art, I had my dinner cooking in the stock pot, and today I haven't done any. I haven't prepared it, so I've still got to go back and prepare the dinner, and that's always dangerous when you're hungry, isn't it? Can you see I've got a bit of dark green there? So just like we did with the purple, I'm just adding some dark green just to the outside edges a little bit. And this is one of those paintings that you will just want to leave where it is. Let it dry, probably overnight. There's going to be so much paint on here that you're not going to want to pick it up and move it anywhere. So I would just make sure the cat and the dog or whatever can't get to it, or little brothers and sisters, and just let it sit there and dry overnight, because it's chunky as, isn't it? Otherwise you might get paint on the furniture or something like that, and you'll be annoyed with yourself. Okay, that's my green. I'm now going to wipe my finger again, if I can find my cloth. There it is. And we're going to add some pink into it. Sorry, not pink, yellow. Going to add some yellow into it, and that's going to give it some real brightness. I also want to add a touch of red into that flower to brighten up the pink. Just going to come around the back of the camera and see what that's looking like. Ooh, loving. Lovely, lovely, lovely. All right, let's add in the red. So here we go. I'm going to add in, and I'm going to use my finger, and I'm going to do it in kind of almost like little roundy shapes to try and give the impression of kind of rounded bud areas. I'm not going to overthink it. I'm literally just going with what things are in my mind, where I think the shape should go. This is when you should really explore and experiment. It's fun. It doesn't matter if it goes wrong. At the end of the day, it's a bit of cardboard and a bit of paint, and the paint in Aldi today is 99 cents. So who cares? Not me. So really experiment, play. If you don't like it, I must say, actually, I forgot to share with you, the other day when we did the Georgia O'Keeffe, and Harry was really disappointed with his. He just like, oh, I really lost it, Mum. I found it really difficult. Really didn't like it. Well, the next day I came into the studio and I got out some pastels, and I have done a, you know, one of those time-lapse speed jobbers. Well, I've done a time-lapse where I have added pastels on the top of his dried painting, and I really wanted to show you that you can really, you know, you can always add a new material on top of something and save an art piece or change an art piece until you're really happy with it. So you don't always have to throw it away. No, 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 no. You can really work on it, develop it. So I will post that up this evening so you can have a look at how Harry changed his, well, how I changed Harry's Georgia O'Keeffe. I added some pastels, a bit of line work, smushed it with my fingers. See how that red and that yellow has just sort of added a bit of energy? Just added a real pop of energy that it didn't have before. Now I'm just going to use the yellow and the green down here, and I'm going to try and get a really bright, vibrant green, and we're just going to try and go one lighter than the green that we had. So we've got a real sort of limey green. There it is. Beautiful. So I'm just going to add a little bit of that limey green in with the green. That's gorgeous. That sort of just adds a bit of almost, so when you're art school, you learn that you story tell with art, and this to me is adding a bit of storytelling, because it's adding the connection between the yellow and the green. So it's a really, really, really bright, vibrant lime green. I mean, that's green, bright green, that's dark green. This is a very yellow green, and it is just doing what we need it to do, which is creating that visual connection from the front to the back of the painting. Sounds very complicated and very arty, which of course it is, because I'm trying to educate you at the same time. You know, you pay good money for this art education, people. Who needs a university degree? You can just come to art school with Karen, have a cup of tea at the same time, and away you go, my petal. Talking of petals, we are nearly there. I'm just adding a tiny bit of green in the centre of my flower. It's funny how I'm painting with my middle finger predominantly. I don't know why that is. It doesn't necessarily mean that it paints better, but I seem to be gravitating to that middle finger. Okay, I'm now just finding the darkest colour I can, which means I'm mushing green, blue, red, purple, and I'm making up a brand new deep colour of something. And I just want to add a bit of depth into the centre of my flower, where I guess the polleny bit would be. Like that, so it feels like there is a little bit of depth just in there, maybe a couple more bits like that. And finally, I think just a tiny bit of white. I think that's enough on the coloured, so I'm just going to get a tiny bit of white. I've got nowhere else to put it. I'm going to find a little squeezy corner. There we go. Now the trick with this is trying to get this white on without making it another colour, so it becomes a final highlight. Whether I will be able to do it remains to be seen, but let's have a go. So I'm just going to try and drag, or dot, that's it. So where I've got these red ones, I'm just adding a tiny bit of white highlight. Pretty tricky to do. So if you're in the gap, I put out some Mother's Day craft packs on Sunday, and I put some more out today. I haven't been up there this afternoon because I've had the 3 classes here, so I don't know if they're all gone. When I came to the studio this afternoon, there was 3 left. I'll have a look later. If there's any left, you're welcome to come and get them. And I did a little teach for the kids on what to do, so they should be able to go into a little area in the garage or somewhere that you're happy for them to do it, and they should be able to follow me without too much trouble, people, okay? So I know parents, mums, you might not want to know what it is, but maybe you can come and just pick it up for the kids, and then you can set them off to paint it themselves. Beautiful. Well, that is my Mother's Day painting. That is my beautiful flower using finger paints. If you like it, I would love to hear what you think. I would love to hear your thoughts. Let me know who's been watching. Tell me if you like it. If you send me a message that says, Bess, you are a flower, you can have that picture for Mother's Day. So the first message that I get that says, Bess, you are my flower, I will give you this painting for Mother's Day. How about that? I've also already given away 3 pairs of shoes today for the kids in the quick draw. So if they haven't drawn it, it's not still too late. They need to design a trainer. All the details are on the quick draw, how to draw a sneaker. And like I said, there's still some Mother's Day craft gifts outside. So I'm giving all my love to you. And all I'm asking in return is that you take a few photographs, write me a review, tell me that, tell me how you're getting on with your art, share your art, and share what I'm doing with your friends. Let your family know in England that they can join me for Sip and Paint. Let the kids know and the neighbours' kids know that they can do free art every afternoon. 3 classes. I've got Paint Your Picnic on Saturday afternoon. I've got Sip and Paint on Saturday evening. I'm doing another sneaky Sip and Paint Thursday morning, which is for Thursday night, which is Thursday morning in the UK. It'll be 7 PM here in Brisbane. I'm doing it for the ladies in England. So, yeah, that's all I ask. Just a bit of love, share the goodwill, let everybody know where I am, and I will see you tomorrow for some more art. Take care, have a good evening, bye!